Good morning, ladies. Kalei here, Business Beauty Queen for your Makeup Monday. I am starting off as usual with my glorious primer. As you girls can see, the weekend was rough for me and I've got tons of blemishes. So as I've mentioned previously, primer works amazing at not only conditioning your skin, but locking in your makeup for the day. Next, I'm going to go in with my Liquid Touch foundation and my foundation brush. I think it is very important to find a foundation that not only gives you the coverage that you want, but also works well with your skin. The thing I love about this liquid foundation is it's not only lightweight, but it gives me absolute coverage that I desire, and you can always apply more as you go along. Next up, my Lethal Weapon, my Touch Concealer, or not. We had a little interruption. Makayo wanted to say hello. So usually what I do with my concealer is I always put it under the eyes because having 3 under 3 and then almost a teenager, I get little sleep. So I'm just gonna first apply this over all the areas I have my blemishes and then under my brow line just to add that highlight. It's always important to remember to apply your concealer after your liquid foundation. This way, the areas you're trying to conceal are going to be covered a lot better versus if you're trying to apply the concealer first and then just getting all of your foundation applied evenly. Next up, my blending bud. This is the tool I love to use just to make sure that my concealer and my foundation is all evenly dispersed throughout my skin, but also that everything is just locked in so I can really try to pull that extended coverage before applying my powder. Mineral concealer. This is an added step that I'm using today. You don't have to do this, but I really have an issue with my dark circles, so I'm going to do some light baking, as they call it, and I'm going to apply this over the area that I put my concealer on under my eyes, and then I'm just going to let it sit. The other area I'm going to apply this is right under my, kind of basically along the whole area of my jawline. I start under my cheek and then I just pull that mineral coverage all along the bottom part of my skin. This again is going to create some more dimension in your face when you add your bronzer for the contouring. So the term baking is just to let that sit wherever you apply it, and we'll blend later. I like to use my blusher brush when I apply my bronzer, and I am gonna go in with this as my contouring derivative. So I just go over my cheeks, and then since we're doing more of a simple look today, I'm just gonna go on lightly over my forehead on the sides, just to create that dimension with the contouring. Now with my powder puff brush, I'm going to go in and just lightly blend everything. I don't want to go too harshly with this blend just because I don't want to separate the highlighting and contouring that I've already created. Next, I'm going to do my brows. I personally like to just clean them off with a Q-tip in case I've got some foundation that's covering them, just so they're a lot cleaner to apply. And then I'm going to go in with palette 1 and chipper with my liner shader brush. I'm using the liner side. I personally start from the bottom and I line my initial bottom line just to give me a starting point. I personally like to use eyeshadow. Pencil is absolutely fine. Really what matters is your blending technique and how you do that just to make it look more natural. I go over the top. Once I've applied everything, I'm going to go back in with my lash comb brush with the comb end, and this is what I personally use to just blend and soften everything. So you can see the difference. This is more sharp, this is a little softened. I just think it looks more natural that way. So once I've completed that step, I'm gonna go in with my pressed powder. I use my sponge and just initially press and then just lightly swift over, just so I can lock in again that concealed area with the dark circles. And then I'm gonna do the same on the bottom area where I was focusing on more highlight, and then around the area of my T-zone. And then just so it's not too much packing and way too much coverage over my bronzer, I'm going to use my powder puff brush to evenly disperse the rest of my pressed powder over that area. Today's look was very simplistic. I know there's a lot of women out there who don't wear very much makeup, if any at all. So I wanted to show you girls another application technique that even if you don't wear much, how you can still get that resilience, flawless look. I'm gonna add some nude lipstick just to top it off, and there you go. Hope you girls have a wonderful week. See you next Monday.